What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Ninjaverse TV, the show where we take the best Ninja Warrior athletes and put them to the test. I'm your host, Mike Ravert, and today we're going to be going over the men's results of our latest competition over at TA Plymouth. Because we had so many competitors, this video we're just going to go over the top 5 runs from each event, and then in the workout we're going to go over the top 3. So let's not waste any more time. If you want to see all the runs, you can go back to our previous videos where we have Wave 1 and Wave 2. But let's get right into it, starting with full course runs. Coming in at number 5 is James Burns. James actually hit his best run on his first attempt. Remember that the competitors had 2 attempts at this course. James had a better run on his first. Let's just take a look at it first.
Here we go, James. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. Clear. There you go. Clear. Clear. Clear.
So on James' first attempt, he was faster to the bungee obstacle, and then he was also able to make the landing from the bar onto the bungees, and then he was so close to making that 90-degree turn. You can see he actually gets the right side, but his left side just gets rejected. It just hits the tip of the hook, and it's just inches away from making that move. So it was a super awesome run. He was the second runner in the second wave as well, so definitely a lot of pressure, and he didn't have a lot of beta before that. So great run out of James. Now on to number 4. Number 4, we had Aiden Shanley.
3, 2, 1, go. Clear. Clear.
You can see how much he was booking it from the start. He got a little stuck on the slider obstacle. He got stuck on his first run, and you could tell that he really cleaned up his technique. He still got stuck and had to take a couple extra swings on his second run, but he was way more efficient than the first run, which is why he was able to cut down on his time. And then he jumps right into the bar obstacle, wasting absolutely no time, which is why he was just able to edge out James's time. Sitting in our number 3 spot, we had Gavin Obey. Similar to James, Gavin had his best run on his first attempt. Also similar to James, he was early in the run order. He was actually first, right before James. So let's take a look at his first run.
Gavin, ready? All right, here we go, Gavin. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. Clear. Let's go. There you go, right there. Nice, Gavin. Let's go. Clear. 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 Nice. Let's go. Clear. Clear. Let's go. Clear. Got 48, 5, 30. 51, yeah, let's go. Take a breath here. Take a breath. This is the point. Let's get it. Clear. Watch that side. Nice job, Gavin.
You can see that Gavin absolutely cooked this run. He was so smooth and efficient the entire time. He didn't look like he was absolutely booking or rushing anything. He just looked smooth and efficient. The move on the wing nut into the UFO, into the slider, it was flawless. It was so sick to watch because nobody else pulled off that move in the competition at all. So it was so sick to watch him pull that move off in competition. So he books it to the bungees. He's able to make the landing, but you can see that he gets a little stuck and is just unable to correct it. That was such a sick run though. Well done, Gavin. In our number 2 spot, we had Jonathan Godbout. Jonathan was the only one in the first wave to make the top 5 in the course runs. He was able to have his best run in his second attempt, and he was actually the last runner of the wave in this. So let's take a look at his run.
Here we go, John. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 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 Come on. Clear. 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 Time. We were at 59 seconds. Minute 30 left. Let's go, John. Technically, yeah. Okay. Clear. Yeah.
You can see, kind of similar to Gavin, Jonathan is super smooth on everything. He's not really rushing and he doesn't take any rest in between any obstacles. Unlike in his first attempt, he was flawless in landing the bar on the bungee cradles. Let's just play the clip in his first run.
Clear.
So you can even hear him go, nice, when he lands the cradle. And
Clear. Yeah.
he was able to make the 90-degree turn with absolutely no problem. Just a big under move. He was so close on. His right side was in, and you can see his left side just gets slammed into the bottom. Again, super close. He was super close on his first run as well. 2 great runs out of Jonathan, so well done there. And sitting in first place in our course runs, the only person to complete the course And the only person to get the undergrab move, of course, because he completed it, is Jay Lewis, of course.
Going in, 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. Clear. All right. Here we go. All right. Okay. If I failed the roll a second time, that would have been really bad. Real embarrassing.
Jay gets the clear on his second run. On his first run, he was actually unable to complete the warp wall as the final obstacle. He had over a minute left in the time limit going into the warp wall. He just didn't get enough power on the first run, and then once you have to reset on that, because we allowed you to go back across the rollers, he was just unable to get the power, and then the rollers got messed up, and he just wasn't able to correct from there. But he had really good technique going into the second time. You could see he got like a big run up beforehand, so he actually had the power. He had really nice foot placement on the rollers and was able to power up the wall, no problem whatsoever. On the 90-degree turn, it was really interesting. If you watch carefully, his left side is actually super close to slipping off. Luckily, he's able to correct it and he was able to keep it in. It was a sick run. Great job out of Jay. So the overall results after the course runs from both waves, we got Jay Lewis in first, Jonathan Godbout in second, we got Gavin in third, Aiden fourth, James fifth. Then we have in sixth, Luke Powell, seventh, Dave Vergara, eighth, Zach Fishman, ninth was Max Kearney, 10th, Stephen Graham, 11th we had Mike Kirwan, 12th, Owen Mathers. Sitting in 13th is Sheldon Oliveira, who this was actually his first competition ever. 14th we had Steve Donnelly, 15th, Johnny Keys, 16th was Luke Packer, and finally 17th, Anthony Keys. Now entering the second event of the competition, we had the skills event, which is broken into 4 sub-events. We started off the skills events with the agility line. Sitting in 5th place in the agility line was Johnny Keys.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
So Johnny actually had a false start on his first attempt, which we can take a look at to embarrass him.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Johnny's run was super smooth. There was nothing really like chaotic about it. He has a really nice pre to the Bosu ball in order to change directions, and I think that smoothness and efficiency just really paid off. Moving on to 4th place, we had Gavin Obey.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 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 8.81.
Gavin, same thing, just super smooth. I mean, that's kind of Gavin's thing, is like he's just efficient. He knows how to move really well. He takes these big strides. He wasn't in a rush. It was really clean. Moving on to 3rd, we got Luke Packer.
Here we go, dude. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 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 8.81.
Now compared to Gavin, Luke looked a little more out of control, but then again, Luke was moving a little faster as well. What I really liked about Luke's run was that he was just moving forward no matter what. It didn't matter like where his body position was or like what was going on. He was just moving forward and it freaking worked out for him. Moving on to our number 2 spot, we had James Burns.
Good. James, any questions?
Yeah, me no.
Here we go, dude. And 3, 2, 1, go. James, got it. Clear. 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 8.3.
So you can see this is where we really start to pick up the pace. James really looks like he's rushing this. He's trying to book it. He's trying to go all out. What I liked about James' run is that it looked like he purposely tried to take the inside corners as opposed to just getting to the Bosu and turning. It looked like he was really trying to like go with the curve, which was, I don't know, it looked good. And moving on to our number 1 spot, we had Aiden Shanley.
Alrighty. And 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. Clear.
Aiden, similar to his course run, you can see that he's just super fast. He's able to make up a lot of time despite doing a lot of these stutter steps, which would typically like make you a little slower, but he's just booking it so much. And his reaction time is actually where I think he made up most of the time. You can see that he's leaving the starting platform right as the word go is set. So he's starting to move a little bit beforehand so that right when it's time to go, he's already moving. So that was really nice technique out of him. So let's take a look at the results just for the agility event. Our second skills events were the rope climbs. The way that we did the rope climbs was in groups of 7 people, we had them cycle through 1 rope climb at a time. So we had, let's say, Jay go, and then Aiden went after him, and then James after him, and then 4 more people, and then Jay would do his second, so on and so forth. Each rope climb counted as 1 point, and their total time counted as their score. So just like any other ninja competition, most amount of points, least amount of time. So in 5th place, we had Gavin Obey.
3, 2, 1, go. 4 points in 3, 2, 1, go. Go. Clear. 4 on the dot. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Come on, Gavin, fast hand, let's go.
Clear. Nice. 3.96.
You're going to be seeing this name a lot. Once again, Gavin is super smooth. Every single rope climb was exactly the same. I think the time of each rope climb only differed by 1/10 of a second between all 3, which is crazy consistent. Moving on to number 4, we had Aiden Shanley.
Aiden, ready? Good. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 3.60. 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 3.78.
Aiden looked really good on these rope climbs as well. You could see his right arm was able to make these like really big movements, and then his left arm was kind of matching, and then really big movement. It was good technique, and he was able to throw down a fast time. Moving on to our number 3 spot, we had Jay Lewis.
Jay, ready?
Yep.
Jay, ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 3.78. 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 3.5. In 3, 2, 1, go.
You can see similar to Aiden, Jay had these really powerful reaches, and what was interesting about Jay's climbs were each rope climb, he actually got more and more powerful, and you could just see that he was moving faster and faster each time. And in our number 2 spot, we had Dave Vergara. Dave, I hope this doesn't come off as offensive, but this really blew me out of the water. I was definitely taken aback by this. Dave was so powerful. Actually, let's roll the footage first.
Here we go, Dave. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Dave was so powerful. He was so fast. On the first round, he had the fastest time out of anyone. The only person to beat him is the number 1 spot. But otherwise, in a single rope climb, he had the second fastest time, and he only got faster. On his last climb, he missed breaking 3 seconds by 0.01 second. I know that he had like some height advantage compared to some of the younger competitors, but it didn't matter. He was moving so fast and so powerfully. Awesome job, Dave. That was so exciting to watch. And finally, in our number 1 spot, we had Stephen Graham.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear.
Holy moly.
Seconds. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear.
What?
So on his first attempt, you actually may or may not have even noticed this, but he had like a small stumble and he was still able to throw down an insanely fast time. He has this really nice jump up and he basically just glides up the rope. It was crazy to watch. He was so fast and so smooth. He takes these like giant pulls, just hand over hand. It was really awesome to watch. Great job, Stephen. So let's take a look at the results just for the rope climb event. Our third skill event was the mini course. Athletes had essentially a there and back course that they had to run that was broken down into 4 available points. The tricky part about this was that they had to deal with a UFO that would be spinning on their way back. So taking a look at our 5th place run, we had James Burns.
Here we go, James. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. Clear. Clear.
Come on, James, let's go. There you go.
Clear.
James had a solid run. He was a little hung up on the ring going back to the UFO, but again, that was kind of the crux of this mini course. But he makes this really big reach back to the devil steps and is able to make some pretty quick moves down to it and finish out the course. So he had a great run. Great job, James. Taking a look at our number 4 run, we had Stephen Graham.
Good. Here we go, Steven. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 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 29, 1.
Stephen has a really solid run. The only thing is that he kind of takes a couple of moments to settle himself, which just costs him a little bit of time. But he has this amazing lock off on the ring where he just kind of like holds it for a second while he just casually reaches out and waits for the UFO to come back to him. And with that, he's able to just beat out James Burns' times by just a couple of milliseconds. And in our number 3 spot, we had Zach Fishman. This run was sick. Let's take a look at it.
Here we go, dude. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go, Zach.
Clear. Clear. Clear.
Let's go, Zach.
Clear.
That was good.
So Zach does what we were hoping everyone was going to do, which is lache back to the UFO while it was swinging. He makes a lache, he bumps down the devil steps as quickly as possible. He almost falls on his way back. He takes this big stride on the last step, which makes him really have to reach for the Bosu ball at the end, and he just hits the corner and crosses the plane. It did count it as a clear because he landed on the finish platform and he was moving forward. It was so close though. It was so much fun to watch, and once again, He just barely beats out Steven's time by just a couple of milliseconds. Actually, runs 3 through 6 were all within a couple of tenths of a second of each other. Let's throw them all together and let's see what happens.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go back.
Clear.
Really great job, Zach. That was a well-earned 3rd place. Looking at our 2nd place, we had Jay Lewis.
Good? Yeah, I'm good. All right, here we go, Jay. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. Clear. Clear.
Jay just does Jay things. You know, he looks super smooth, super efficient through that. He doesn't really look like he's rushing too much. And similar to Steven, he has this big lock off on the ring to reach back for the UFO, and he's able to throw down a really solid time. And in our number 1 spot, we got Gavin Obey. Told you you'd be hearing his name a lot.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. Clear. Clear.
There you go. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Clear.
Let's go. Yeah.
Clear. 22.1.
Gavin books it on this, and every single move was flawless. He reaches the UFO, he has this great one-arm swing to allow him to dismount to the double steps and link down to keep bumping. It was really smooth. That's the name of Gavin's game. Just, you know, smooth runs, efficient, and freaking perfection. Awesome job, Gavin, on taking the dub on that event. Let's take a look at the full results. And in the last event of the skills portion, we had the bar traverse. Athletes are just going to traverse their way around the truss, making it back to the dismount platform, just using the bars and the 1 trapeze bar. Taking a look at our 5th place run, we had Aiden Shanley.
Very good. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. Clear.
Aiden was really efficient during this run. He pretty much links everything up until the trapeze bar, in which he has to take up a couple swings. Building those swings really, it just eats up time, and that's kind of the point of the trapeze, is like, that's how you trap them, right? And otherwise his run was super efficient, and he was able to throw down a really clean run. Taking a look at our 4th place run, we had Owen Mathers.
Owen, ready? Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. Clear.
Wow.
Clear. Clear. 15.
Owen has been training at TA for forever. He was training there like long before I got into Ninja. He's an OG for sure. And I was super stoked that he was able to do really well in this run. He throws in a couple of given swings, which were sick because none of us thought of that as a technique. We all just thought that normal laches. But what I really liked was up onto the bar right before the trapeze, he actually holds on to the previous bar and he's able to use that to kick his leg backwards in order to build up a swing on the trapeze quicker without having to do an upstart and backswing, and he's able to move off of it really quickly. It's basically the most efficient way to do without just linking it. Looking at a number 3 run, we had Stephen Graham.
So in 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 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 Nice. 15.
Stephen had a great run as well. He had a really good setup going into the trapeze where he really set his hips up in order to link it, and then he was able to build up a swing from there so he didn't have to take extra swings. He had an interesting technique with using switch grip on the last couple of bars. I think it was to bump his way through so he was a little quicker. And then he had a great drop down to the final bar and good dismount. Taking a look at our number 2 run, we had Gavin Obe.
Ready? Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear.
Go, Gavin.
Clear.
Yup. Let's go, Gavin. Yeah.
Oh my god.
This run freaking blew my mind. When we were doing this in practice, we were getting roughly 15 seconds. To watch him blow 5 seconds off of this already fast event was freaking wild. I knew immediately that his run was going to be fast when he does the underbar on the first bar, and as soon as he did that, I was like, that's a good move. None of us even thought about that. Like, all of us were thinking, you know, jump into the first, set yourself up for a lâché. Nobody thought to just like pull through immediately. Everything was perfect. He was even able to skip one of the bars at the end. It was just such a great run. And there was only one person that could beat that. Freaking Jay Lewis.
Here we go, Jay. In 3, 2, 1, go. Clear. 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 10 points.
Obviously, Jay just has an amazing run. What's really interesting is watching his run compared to Gavin, so let's just run that back. We're going to run it back in slow motion first.
3, 2, 1, go.
What's cool about Jay's run is that you could see that he pulls through a lot better. I mean, he pulls through bars way better than some people can even lâché. You can see by the third bar, he's already ahead of Gavin, which is crazy because it's been like 2 seconds at best. And the fact that he's able to pop through everything so fast and then still set himself up for linking lâchés afterwards, it was just perfection. So awesome job, Jay. Awesome job, Gavin. Awesome job, everyone. Let's take a look at the results just for the bar traverse event. Now let's take a look at the results for the skills event overall. So taking a look at the overall results after 2 events, we got Jay running away with it. Then we have Gavin, Aiden, Jonathan, and James, who are all within striking distance of each other. In 6, we got Stephen Graham. Then we have Dave and Zach tied with 15 points, though Dave ranks a little higher than Zach because Dave beat Zach in the course. We got Luke Powell at 18 points, Max Kearney at 19, Owen Mathers, Johnny Keys, Mike Kirwin, Steve Donnelly, Luke Packer, Sheldon Oliveira, and finally Anthony Keys. So going into our final event, we had the workout. In my mind, this was kind of just going to be a toss-up. We didn't really know what to expect, so let's take a look at our top 3 runs. In 3rd place, we had Stephen Graham. Let's take a look at some of his highlights.
3, 2, 1, go.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Clear.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Clear. 10 seconds.
Toast the bar, toast the bar.
Stephen had a really good strategy, and you could tell that he still had a lot of energy left. I mean, he was gibbon swinging the laches. He was really efficient on the cliffhanger and the salmon ladder as well. My favorite part of Stephen's run was that he did not even attempt the last exercise at the end. He just kind of walked off. Just mic drop, I'm done with this. Awesome job, Stephen. On to number 2. In second place, we had Jonathan Gobout.
Yep. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Yo, 8 salmon ladder runs. 8 salmon ladder runs.
Seconds in.
Go, John, come on. Total bars, 8 total
15
bars.
seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No rep. No rep.
Hey, they were, yeah. It's the right call.
I forgot your toes didn't hit the bar.
Yeah.
Toes, 2
You
bar.
would have had time anyway.
Now, Jonathan is a super fit athlete. I kind of figured that he was going to have no problem with this. You could see that he was just really efficient during everything. He was doing 180s on the laches, and then at the end, he was getting a couple of no reps on the toes to bar. You can hear him at the end. He goes, I forgot toes had touched the bar. He was running low on time on the toes to bar anyway. I'm not sure he would have been able to get back to the finish platform within the time limit, even if he didn't get those no reps, but it was awesome that he kept powering through despite that time limit. And in our number 1 spot, Jay freaking Lewis.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Here, 10 seconds in. Here, 50 seconds in.
Show the catch. 4, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. 8, good.
Clear. 20 seconds.
One,
10,
2, 4, 5, 6, 7.
and time. Nice work, Jen.
Is that one away from finishing?
Jay sweeps the competition and ends his night taking the win in the workout. He beats out Jonathan's time by just 4 seconds. He looked great through this workout. He was skipping rungs on the way up on the salmon ladder, What was crazy to me was that he was doing the grip switches and the toasted bar on a free spinning bar. I mean, you could have chosen any bar, but he made it harder essentially on himself by using the salmon ladder bar. It was awesome. Phenomenal job, Jay. Congrats on winning everything. Spoiler alert. That's all we got for the workout. Let's check out the final results of just the workout. So taking a look at the overall results after all said and done, Jay Lewis swept the competition, winning every single event, earning himself a perfect 3 points. Jonathan Godbout, with his second place finish in the final workout, was able to move ahead into second place, just beating out Gavin and Aiden, who tied with 13 points. Now the thing is, because they tied, Gavin actually earns the number 3 spot because he finished ahead of Aiden in the course runs, and like we said in the beginning, courses are going to determine tiebreakers. And then just behind them with 14 points was James Burns, which rounds out the top 5. What was really interesting about the final results is that if you look at the top 5, that's the same top 5 as the course runs. So it really goes to show that being good at courses translates really well into being good at skills and being good as an athlete in general. Or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe it means that being an athlete and being good at individual skills translates really well into being good at courses. Taking a look at the rest of the results, we had Stephen Graham in 6th, Zach Fishman in 7th, Dave Vergara, Luke Powell, Johnny Keys in 10th. Owen Mathers was in 11th, Max Kearney in 12th, Mike Kirwin 13th, 14th we had Stephen Donnelly, 15th Sheldon Oliveira, Luke Packer, and then finally Anthony Keys. That's all we got for this competition. I hope you enjoyed it. We had a blast. I know I had a blast at least. So we're going to finish off with a couple of my favorite moments from this competition. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for a recap of the women's results.